I must thank the organizers for inviting me to this conclave. My fellow panelists, Mrs. Rasika Chobe, Mr. Vinod Noval, Ashok Bhuiya, Pankaj Satija, and Mr. Vinod Sharma. They have all laid out the issues which are facing the mining industry. And I must really compliment Mr. Vinod Sharma for painting a very rosy picture in a gloomy scenario which we are facing. I may not be able to cover all the issues which has been raised because mostly it seems that the leases which are expiring, particularly the mining iron leases which are expiring in March 2020, that seems to be the major concern. And Mrs. Rasika Chobe has given the plan which has been laid out to face any disruptions which may arise. Actually, this issue was raised before us. The committee which she has mentioned, this issue was raised before the committee, and there was a lot of pressure or sort of recommendations coming to us to recommend that these leases be renewed. We deliberated upon it, and then the predominant view which emerged was that others have been given the leases through auctions. Now there will be a serious disruption of level playing field between the two sets, the new leases which are given on some higher revenue and the old leases which, if they are renewed, then there will be a discrimination between the two. And accordingly, we decided that we need not change the law again and again, and the disruptions can be managed. We are definitely working with Ministry of Environment and Forest to see that the time required for clearances, particularly EC and FC, that is reduced. And for running minings, if the EC and FC has been obtained, then this can continue with the new owner also. And I am sure that, and I am also hopeful that this is very likely to be the case. This will all help in minimizing the disruptions. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now come to the bigger picture of the mining. We are, the Indian subcontinent is part of the old Gondwana land, of which Australia, South Africa, and we were all part of a single land, but when afterwards we separated out. So the geology, the mineral composition, and the minerals available, they are more or less likely to be the same. But what is happening is that whereas Australia is far ahead as far as mining is concerned, we are not there on the same page. The kind of investment in exploration particularly which Australia gets, unfortunately, we have not been able to get that. So concern before us was how do we revitalize the exploration, and consequently the mining will follow. I will not be able to share the exact recommendations which have gone into it, but definitely the recommendations of the committee are that they will give a major flip to the exploration, and the explorer will also get the mining leases seamlessly. They will be, it's likely that all transfers of leases, if the explorer after the exploration wants to exit and he wants to give the mining lease to somebody else, probably that may be the case. So there's going to be a lot of liberalization which in this sector, which is, hopefully it will come. Another issue which we faced was whether we go for captive, commercial, or part captive, part commercial. Ultimately, we decided that what we have been seeing is the captive mines, whether they are in iron and steel sector or whether they are in coal, they lead to suboptimal utilization of the mines. There is a condition, the excess capacity, if it is not to be utilized in the captive plant or the end use plant, that cannot come into the market and that cannot be sold. And this has been the case in iron ore, and it has been the case in coal as well. So generally what we favor is that we should only have commercial mining. Commercial it does not necessarily mean that you have to perforce sell it. You can definitely use it in your own plant if you are having the plant. So captive is actually a sub-component or the subset of the commercial mining, but it sort of removes the restriction on the miner which a captive mining poses on it. As far as coal is concerned, there also we sort of prefer the same principle, that should be exclusively commercial. Anybody who wants to use it for his captive purpose, he can bid in the commercials for the commercial space, and then whatever portion he wants to utilize for his own plants, he can do it. Rest he can sell in the market. So there's sort of for us mining as well as coal is the same, and hopefully the same regime should come in coal. Recently, coal sector has been opened for commercial mining, and Ministry of Coal has come out with number of mines which are to be auctioned for commercial purpose, and I am sure that plenty of you would be interested in getting into the commercial coal mining sector. We have, as Mr. Sharma has pointed out, about 300 billion tons of coal reserve. But still we end up importing about 25% of our requirement. Some of it is inevitable to some extent, particularly the coking coal. But the thermal coal is something which could have been avoided, given the proper policy framework which allowed commercial mining from the very beginning. Probably our estimated this situation may not have arisen. We should also understand that we being surplus in coal and the kind of reserves which we are having, we should not only be not importing coal, but if proper ecosystem is created, then coal can be available at very cheaper rates in India, and probably we can export it to the neighboring countries also. That's the kind of system which we want that should develop, and we are working for it. We do not envisage that we should give again for different kind of uses, that we give it for gasification or we give it for coal to liquid fuels. Once we open it to commercial, you are welcome to take it and use it for whatever purpose you want. Automatically the economics of every sector will find its own ways and means of utilizing it. So in a nutshell, we have been trying to open up both the sectors, particularly the exploration sector, and open it the mining also for private sector in coal, and bring in enough competition so that adequate amount of coal and other minerals, they become available not only to meet our requirement but at the cheapest possible rate to the feeder industries. And we also very well recognize this fact that all minerals and coal, they are a basic input to the economy and they should be available at the lowest possible prices. I would also request you, when you are bidding for mines, don't bid it like you did in coal, which make it unviable. There is plenty of resources which will be available, they will be put on sale, put on auctions. So be rational while you are bidding and don't get caught into a situation where you have, just for the sake of taking the mining and these blocks, put a price which later on you find that you are unable to meet those expectations and it make unviable for you. So again, I thank the organizers for inviting me here. Thank you.